Hey everyone, welcome to Area 616. So yesterday, Marvel released the very first trailer for Inhumans, their upcoming TV series, and it got very mixed reactions. There were a few people who liked it, but most everyone hated it, mostly due to the unpolished CGI, low-quality costumes, and general generic feel it carries with it. But is it really going to suck? Despite all the terribleness of the trailer, is there still hope for it? And if it does end up being terrible, why would it be? Well, first of all, let's go over what I've personally found to be the main problems with the trailer. A lack of creativity. Everything from the effects to the costumes to the story lack an original feel. The Inhumans of the comics are weird and surreal, but here they feel generic and predictable. In the comics, their powers are visually impressive, specifically Lockjaw. When he teleports in the comics, he brings a flash of blue energy with him, but here he just looks like he's apparating in Harry Potter. Same with Black Bolt. Instead of the blue energy that usually accompanies his powers, it's just the generic sound wave effects that have been used by every super loud character ever. And it has nothing to do with budget. We've seen Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., Legion, The Gifted, and many other shows that have had much more flashy power effects. So there's no reason the Inhumans can't have it here. Even down to Medusa's hair. Here it's just a poorly put on wig that doesn't look like it could strangle people at her command. In the comics, it's much bigger and it's constantly moving, like it's alive. And I get that with a TV show they probably couldn't afford to do that every time her character is on screen, but maybe just a little bit here and there. Yes, we've only seen a minute and a half of footage from the show, but there's absolutely no hints that Medusa's hair is anything like in the comics. It's just normal hair. It doesn't even look abnormally long. And of course, I could talk for hours about the Inhumans costumes here, but the best way to put it is to just take a picture of Black Bolt's costume in the comics and put it beside his costume in the show, and then let you decide which one looks more interesting. The Inhumans all got a redesign for their Royals book, and their costumes are literally perfect for live-action adaptation. They're detailed enough that they wouldn't look corny, but they still maintain the color and general look of the comics. But nope, instead of doing something like that, they're just going to give everyone whatever they could find on sale at Party City. And that includes the practical effects, like Triton. Triton looks awful here. In the comics, he actually looks really cool. And it's not like that's an impossible thing to translate to TV. Doctor Who does it all the time. But here, Triton looks completely unrecognizable from the comics. I genuinely wouldn't have known it was him if I hadn't been looking for him and knew what his actor looked like. So the question is why? Why have all these terrible choices been made? It's not just the budget. I've centered it down to one guy, and there's evidence to back it up, and that's Scott Buck. He's the showrunner and was also the showrunner on Iron Fist. And what was one of the biggest complaints surrounding Iron Fist? The lack of costumes, and how everything that was cool and interesting about him had been downplayed or ignored entirely. And that's what's happened here. Marvel brought him on to ground the Inhumans, make them more believable. But that's not what you need to do with these characters. They need to be flashy and exciting and weird looking. That's their characters. But after that rant there, what about the question, is Inhumans going to suck? Well, we all know there's more to a show than just its visuals. There's acting, characters, writing, all that. So is it possible that the Inhumans could succeed in that area while it fails in visuals? Well, looking to Iron Fist, it's kind of doubtful. Iron Fist wasn't a terrible show, but it had some severe issues throughout its writing that really hurt the show, like Danny's arc. It was practically non-existent. But with Buck being the showrunner, these are the choices he made. He doesn't write every episode, but he does provide an outline of sorts of what he wants to happen throughout, and he goes over each script and alters it to fit his vision of the overall season. That's what the showrunner does, if I understand it correctly. So all of these problems in Iron Fist's writing and story structure and pacing These were things Buck chose to do, which is why I predict that, yeah, Inhumans is probably going to suck. In fact, I honestly think it's going to be far worse than Iron Fist ever was. The reason being, Iron Fist had some truly awesome trailers. The main one's still one of my all-time favorite Marvel trailers. They were so good I was pretty much convinced it'd be a great show. With Inhumans, you can see all of the flaws from the first teaser image. Basically, Iron Fist could fool us, Inhumans can't. Something tells me when this year's over, Marvel's gonna wish they never met Scott Buck. And just so that it is clear, I don't hate Iron Fist at all, but I did feel like there were so many choices they made that ended up making it a big missed opportunity. Iron Fist was a huge flop with critics, but it has a pretty big fan base, but I honestly don't even see that with Inhumans. I think this show is going to be Marvel's first through-and-through flop. I hope I'm wrong, but I think it will be. But what do you guys think? Do you foresee Inhumans being terrible, or do you think there's still hope? Let me know all your thoughts and theories in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all next time.